So, welcome in everyone. It is our end of year stage for BioFi, and wow, what a year! It's been a journey and a half. We've learned a lot. We've been through a lot, and yeah, it's just been so exciting. We've also had our ups and downs, and our bear cycles and bull cycles, and it's been really great. And yeah, these few years that we've had, they've been really foundational to building our future. And I believe that 2026 is a year that we will go to new levels. So we are very, very excited to chat a bit about our achievements this year, what we've done so far, and what we plan to do in the new year. So this is a very good space to listen to. So if everyone listening live, welcome in. So glad you could make it. And for everyone that will be listening a bit later, maybe later today or tomorrow over the weekend, it's going to be really, really good. So first of all, I would first like to introduce everyone on stage. So myself behind the Biometric Financial, you might recognize my voice, but it's Paul, marketing from BitMobile. I'm here in Cape Town, South Africa, and we've got lovely weather here. And this is also, well, where everything starts with BitMobile. But today is not about BitMobile, it's about BioFi, and BitMobile is just a part of the ecosystem. So, yeah, on stage we have Mr. Chris Benedict, Brian Moore, and Calvin Hunter. I would first like for each of you to introduce yourselves. So, let's start with Brian as he is unmuted.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it looks like I was unmuted. Um, okay, let me start off first, Paul. As it is in our tradition, and have a quick shout out to the most amazing people. We call them our mega influencers, and I really do. And they have heard me say this, but I'll say it in front of everybody. I really appreciate all the great work you guys are doing. You help glue together many things, and your work is greatly appreciated. And the future is incredible for each of you. So let's just say hello to Crazy Susie, Nick. Um, we've got Dagonaut. I'm not sure where Dagonaut is this morning. Hopefully, he's able to attend. Kismet, what a great guy. Rob, Viv, Dagon's Lair. Some of these people you'll see more often than others, depending on their schedules and whether they travel and all kinds of things that are going on around the world. They're in many different countries. And we really greatly appreciate all that you guys do. I do want to say, have a big shout out. We had an AMA yesterday for those of you that were able to attend, or if you were able to listen to it later, or will do so over the holidays. That's a great AMA. We did that with Vengi over at Big Five Tokens. So I want to reach out and say hi to Vengi and his entire community. What a great community. Constellation, we always have Constellation maxis on these calls, and it's just a wonderful thing. We're doing a lot of work with the Metagraph. It's getting super close. The Metagraph is finished. They're just doing minor tweaks to it, getting it ready for production. And we're very excited about that. The Constellation maxis, big shout out to you guys. And there's so many organizations. We have groups all over the world. There's a lot of people from Africa. We have people in South Africa, Zambia, Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania. A lot of people from around the continent who attend these and listen to these. Thank you guys so much. Your participation is just incredible. Um, Paul, this is going to be an amazing AMA because we're going to celebrate everything that happened in 2025. We're also going to set the stage for an incredible 2026. And I'm glad to see Calvin here. From a sales perspective, we couldn't be more excited for all the things getting lined up. And that will be a very incredible message for many people as we think about the phone, the tablet, the watch, and a lot of other things coming in behind that, and what that means for all of these countries that we're operating in. So the future is incredible. We have a lot coming up in 2026. And just a big shout out to the team here. You guys are doing a great job. And thank you, Paul.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Brian. And just so that everyone knows that hasn't heard Brian speak before, he is one of the co founders and the CEO of multiple companies. But for this specific one, it's Biometric Financial. He has also a very deep background in the banking sector and in innovation. He's one of the patent holders for contactless payments. He's done multiple works with Visa and MasterCard. And yeah, he's just someone that wants to change the world one technology stack at a time. Next up, we've got Mr. Chris Benedict, also someone with quite the repertoire of interesting places he's worked at, which includes Mastercard. He has a deep experience in sales and also been leading the team here as the COO and co-founder of all these multiple companies, but specifically BioFi. Chris, please introduce yourself.
Thanks, Paul. In addition to your being our marketing director, I'm going to sign you up as my PR director, my personal one. So thanks for that intro. Um, Thanks for joining us, everyone. It's great to have you here, those that are here live and those that will listen later. My name is Chris Benedict. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Biometric Financial. And what I wanted to do before we get into this, we're going to cover a wide range of topics today. I just wanted to make sure that I acknowledge the team. We'll be talking about partners in the team and so forth throughout the day, but I wanted to make sure that I recognize and thank folks like Paul, like Tyler, David, Barney, Priyanka, Tion. These are all people on a daily basis who make an impact to the things we do, and you may not see them on a daily basis or hear from them or even know that they're there supporting the efforts that we make. We have Calvin, of course, who you're going to hear from today. We have Dr. Catherine, and we have a whole slew of other people. So anyone I've missed at the moment, forgive me. But it's important, I think, to recognize that our day to day, our success over time is very much dependent on the day to day work. Annabelle, I can't believe I forgot Annabelle. Um, all these people contribute daily to the success we have and the strides we make to make the BioFi ecosystem and each and every one of our solutions successful. So thanks to the team and thanks to you, the community, for being here to listen to us. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you so much for that, Chris. And I do charge extra for the PR side. So thank you so much for that nice Christmas bonus coming through.
Okay.
No, just kidding. So, yeah, next up, we've got Mr. Calvin Hunter. So he is someone that not a lot of people know about yet, but he has made a massive impact in the short time that we've been working together. He is really a force to be reckoned with, and he just goes everywhere in Africa. He knows everyone, everyone knows him, and yeah, he's just very, very fun and sometimes very funny. I would like to introduce you to Calvin Hunter, our international sales director. Calvin, please introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about what you do, and why did you choose to work with us?
Yes, thank you, Paul, and I want to say thank you to Brian and Chris for the opportunity to be a part of the BioFi system, BitMobile, BitPayTech, and the vision of what the company carries to really make an impact around the globe. I really believe in it, and that was one of the main reasons why I personally joined. Is number one, I'm a people person. I love people. I'm passionate about seeing people succeed, seeing people uh, discover and be the best of who they are. And so that's always my passion. Always loved people, helped people, and I really believe this product and what we're standing for and what we're doing as a company and everyone that's involved, every team member, is about making a difference, not just money, but actually being and making a difference. And yeah, it's amazing to be part of the team. We have a lot of awesome updates, great things coming. And I live here in Cape Town, South Africa. I'm a father of five beautiful kids, five boys, no girls, married for over 10 years. That's a little bit about me. And yeah, I'm just very excited to be here, excited to be a part of the team and be on this call today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Calvin. So Calvin has also been doing some great work in Nigeria and Kenya. And yeah, he's also met some amazing people. I do see Dr. David here in the group as well. A shout out to Dr. David. Thanks so much for all you've done so far as well, and all the hard work you've put on in alongside Calvin. And yeah, let's get started with our agenda for today. So we've got so much has happened. And first of all, I would like Chris, Brian, and then Calvin. Let's start with Chris. What stood out for you the most this year when it comes to BioFi's achievements?
Well, not a small question. Thanks, Paul. There are a lot of things I can point to, but the couple of things that I'll comment on. We already talked about the community leads, which are a big factor in what we do. What I'm really excited about, or what I think we've made some real progress on, and I'm proud of for the year, is the expanding the community, having the feedback and the recognition from people through various countries in Africa about what the Rise platform is and what it will bring to individuals and to communities. To see that traction starting to build around, the free rewards for people on the Phoenix, or ultimately the tablet as well as we bring that to market. The recognition that the device is designed to give back, and we've been talking about that for a couple of years now. But to see people recognize that and see what the impact is to them as individuals, and ultimately to their communities, uh, I think, to me, that is one of the best things I could have hoped to accomplish this year. It's great to get distribution deals. It's great to get all this other type of business connections and business successes. And they're why we're here. But at the end of the day, all of that contributes to how people can use the Rise platform. Rewards, content, security, and educational platform is going to be huge. We've made a lot of strides there as well. We'll probably talk about partners that we're bringing in to the educational space, but the recognition of the value of the Rise platform and how the Phoenix as a blockchain enabled device fits into that is really something that I'm proud of for the year. Thanks, Paul.
That's great. Love your answer, Chris. Brian, please share what stood out for you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Paul. I I would probably go back to just make a general comment in that the fact that we're able to operate um, in such a way that you could not do this in a large company. Having spent a great deal of time in Silicon Valley and in large companies, and and then shifted to medium-sized, startups and so forth. Even with huge budgets in very large companies, it's super difficult. It's super hard to accomplish the kinds of things that we've done in this short period of time. And if I think back through 2025, um, you look at all of the innovation that popped in, and keep in mind, AI was just a little baby at the beginning of the year. We were doing some things with AI coming into 2025, and then it accelerated like crazy during the year. And our innovations did as well. We went from a phone to a tablet to a watch all within the year. Imagine this. These types of breakthroughs in a large company would take, 5 years to do what we did in 1 year. And so it's just amazing when you think about that. All of the effort, the focus, the ability to engineer, to design, to build, to test, to launch into market, all of these things each in itself is a long project. And when you string them all together, even if you use an agile methodology, it takes work. It takes a lot of work to do these things. So I really look to the team to, to continue doing this excellent work. This is something, by the way, for those of you who are familiar with mobile technologies and AI, Web3, decentralized finance, the blockchain, you think about these different technologies. There's not one country on earth that can do all of this technology in that single country. There's not one on earth. When you factor in the hardware, right, all the hardware components, all the software components, you could not go to one single country on earth and have all this done in one place. And I would say that because this is important to understand. None of this is possible unless we have people from lots of different places that contribute to bring this together. And therein lies a thing, Paul, a theme that I want to make during this entire conversation, the community. None of this is possible without the community. We talked about the mega influencers early and gave a big shout out to all the communities. There are so many people that have raised thoughts, that have brought items to our attention, that have asked questions, that help shape everything that we did. And it's that interaction with the community. And we look back, that's what's really the best thing about this, is bringing in the community and creating the products that really impact every single person's life. These are things, these are products, these are technologies that every single person can use and that will benefit their life. And all of this is possible with all the touch points we have around the world. So that, Paul, is the most amazing thing. And thank you for that question.
All right, great. And then, Calvin, I know you've only been with us for about 2 to 3 months, and you might not have seen everything that has happened through the year. But in the short time that you've been here, what has stood out for you when it comes to, well, one part of the BioFi ecosystem, which is BitMobile and BitPay Tech?
I think what stands out for me and what I absolutely love about it is you can actually partner with people in their businesses. So through the Phoenix X and through the programming that's been developed and put together, it creates an ecosystem where others can really join in together and be part of that. And I really like the idea of empowering people through education. And one thing that comes to my mind is all the different people, like Brian said, but in Web3 and all these different spheres of influence and all the ideas and all the programs they're designing, how that can literally be integrated in and come together in one device, making more awareness and even giving more people access to these futuristic ideas. I mean, compared to the where Africa is today and where it's going to be in the next 50 years, this I really see as can be the forefront that brings that huge change across Africa of empowering people, equipping people, and really putting together a big global family as well.
Well, that's great. Thanks, Calvin. And just from my end, a quick thing of what stood out for me is, of course, our activations that we did at Pick and Pay. Um, wow, was ETH conference this year or last year? It's suddenly coming all together for me. And yeah, just all the new partners that we made, which is quite the list, and they have been phenomenal. So yeah, that's a few things that stood out for me. So uh, also, what is BioFi's single proudest moment or breakthrough this year, and something that people can get amazed about? I think I'll throw this one to Brian first, because I think you definitely have something to say about that.
Yeah, this I would say this is such a great question. I would say that the fact that we were able to accelerate the mobile development queue this year. We talk about the phone, the tablet, and the watch. The technology if we just stand back, go to the 40,000 foot level and take a look at everything that you guys have here, you, the community, and all the work that you've done, you've got a phone, you have a tablet, you have a watch, you have this thing called Phoenix Lock, LOC, Phoenix Lock. And that particular product was born out of multiple years of effort. At one point, it was running its own global blockchain. At one point in its product development, so it has evolved over the course of the last 3.5 years. None of these things happen in a snap of a finger. It's not just like you turn around and it's there. You literally have to plan these things. You've got to engineer them, design them, develop them, and you want to do it with the highest degree of quality. Where that comes into play for us is when we go through CE testing. And I'll say this is probably one of the biggest things for us, Paul, is in the validation of the hardware, which includes, the software that runs on it, handing that over to the international body to test. And we've told this story before in a couple of these forums, and I'll just say it again. I'm so proud of the team on this, is that imagine all the months and years and time and effort in multiple countries and different mindsets and capabilities that go into play to build this. And all of a sudden, you've got to stitch it all together. You got to sew it all together. You got to stitch it together, and then you turn it over to this grueling process, which is called CE testing. And this thing can drag on for months. And they take the phone and they throw it against the wall. They drop it on the ground. They stick it in somebody's back pocket and sit on it. They turn it on 1,000 times over and over and over. They attach it to Wi-Fi and your cellular signal, and they send text messages and make phone calls just all day long, beating the thing up. And 70% of all the new devices that get handed off to CE are turned back because they have some flaw, there's some issue. And so maybe they go back through redesign, maybe they have a re-architecture, maybe they have to upgrade something, in the operating system. And then all of that then gets resubmitted for approval. Well, in all three cases, which is, I would say, a trifecta, and I would say it's really super rare, every single device, the phone, the tablet, and the watch, all, every one of them, went through CE testing without any issue that caused it to be sent back and fixed. And this is a testament to the incredible level of quality and the fact that we have so many bright engineers and people who are just testing and validating, and the community for validating these products before they ever went to CE. Paul, that's amazing. And it really is an amazing thing. We were able to do it. And that is one of the big reasons why all of this was able to happen this year, that those three mainline products are now available to be imported in so many countries in Africa, Southeast Asia, and South America. Thank you, Paul, for that question.
No, that's great. That's wonderful to hear. How about yourself, Chris?
I think there's a lot of things I could call out as being proud of this year, but I'm going to call the team out on this one and say I'm proud of the team for listening. You mentioned the pick and pay efforts that we did at the beginning of the year, and I was very happy that a large retailer like that recognized what we were doing and was willing to partner with us and bring us into their store environment, their in-store environment, to talk to their customers about the Phoenix X and make offers to them. But what the team learned there, in addition to that, what we learned is that we have a great device that delivers on what our vision was. It's affordable, it's got great technology, and it delivers to people the Rise platform that we talked about. What we came up against there is while people felt the device was perfect in the way it was built, they had trouble obtaining it. And we listened to that, and we were figuring, how can we help them? we've developed this great device, but some of them can't get it because they can't either afford the cash price up front, or they're having trouble buying it over time. We worked with some buy now, pay later companies, and people had a hard time getting through that for various reasons. So what did we do? Rather than just accepting that as the status quo and saying that, well, we just have to work within the environment, the team listened and said, how do we solve this problem? So we created BitPay Tech. We created a separate company that's going to help solve this issue. So instead of just accepting the status quo, we created a business, BitPay Tech, which will allow people to buy the Phoenix XT, and so forth over time for a fixed retail price. So it doesn't matter if they pay over 3 months or if they pay over 5 months or even 6 months for that matter. Over that time, people will pay the same fixed retail price for that device. So this lets people know what they're going to pay over time. They can budget for it. They can understand how it affects their income and their expenses on a monthly basis or a weekly basis for that matter. And we've completely eliminated any of the traditional predatory fee structure and predatory interest rates. So that is, to me, a huge accomplishment. That with everything else we're going on, we took on yet another issue, yet another problem that needed to be solved for people. It's all about access, and we talk about access through the device, access to education, access to rewards, access to great projects and partners. But we needed to address access to obtain the device. So now we have solved that problem through BitPay Tech. So people not only can get a great device, not only can get access to great technology, they can actually get the technology and put it in their pocket and use it on a daily basis. So to me, that is just such a win for the team to continue to listen to everything that the market tells us and take action where we can. So BitPay Tech is going to be just dominant in 2026. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, and what I love is that BioFi as an ecosystem is growing larger and larger, whereas other ecosystems. I'm not going to compare anything, but let's just say BioFi's ecosystem is getting new technology added quite frequently. It's useful things. It's technology with utility, and BPT being part of the ecosystem is just wonderful.
That's a great point, Paul. Thanks. I'm glad you brought that up, because when we launched BioFi a couple of years back now, it was all about utility, and it was at the time it was using BioFi to uh, buy our solutions, whether it was SayTech, or being able to stake it and get utility that way. We now have expanded that, and BitPay Tech is going to be part of that. Being able to apply BioFi towards the purchase of a Phoenix X is another great example. So yes, the utility of the BioFi ecosystem continues to expand through the solutions we bring to market and what our partners are bringing to market as well. So that's a good call out, Paul. Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really, really great. So looking back, which partnerships that we've obtained really exceeded your expectation when it comes to BioFi and our ecosystem? I would love, Brian, if you could start on that one, and then Chris.
Yeah, I would also like Calvin to hop in on this question as well. It's a very insightful question because it reminds us of the fact that, the BioFi ecosystem, the Phoenix X platform is really a conglomeration of a lot of very willing and smart people. And for those that have ears to hear, this is a very important thing. BioFi doesn't operate on its own. It's very tightly integrated with a lot of incredible people. We had the AMA yesterday with Vengi from Big Five Token. That is a fantastic organization. They have an incredible token. In fact, you can use the BFT token for 10% of the purchase price of a Phoenix X phone. You can actually use their token, the BFT token, to buy the Phoenix X. You can use the BioFi token as well. So we built smart contracts and verified those, audited those, put those in production, and those become part of the glue, the payment system that we have, which is part of BitPay Tech. It's part of the payment system that allows for these different methods of payment. And so this whole partnership in how we're working with BFT, Astrobit is another one, an incredible partnership, which is now playing out as we go into 2026. That's an exciting one. You're going to hear a lot about that in the first quarter of 2026. Things that we're doing with 3VO, on the social media side. You can take a look. We've got their app preloaded. IOBA, right? For those of you who are MTN subscribers, you probably run into IOBA. We preloaded IOBA's app on the Phoenix X. Bybit's wallet is preloaded on the Phoenix X. So you start to see all these things rolling in. We have a partnership with Constellation Network. This is the Layer Zero blockchain. One of our favorites, Reality. You guys have met Bob. We call him Bob, Brian. Great guy. And Wyatt. What an incredible entrepreneur. These guys at Reality are fantastic. So all of these great partnerships really make up the whole ecosystem. They're really what drives it every single day. And as we think about working with them, Paul, we mentioned on the AMA yesterday, we're going to have a Code Fest in the first quarter of 2026 in Cape Town. We fully expect many, if not all of our partners to be there to have some of these coders and technicians, engineers, innovation specialists, all working on different applications and using the APIs of our partners, using the APIs that come with the Phoenix X environment and the infrastructure, and then also on our partners. And so we'll open up those APIs. We'll have a way for the engineers to come in and leverage that and build the next generation innovation around these platforms. What that gives us is a whole future looking ahead into 2026 and beyond. It gives us a whole future of new innovations coming down the pike. This really helps us a lot because so many ideas that are generated, they do not come from us directly. We have great ideas, we have things we do. There are so many smart people out there, Paul, so many incredible people, and they wake up every day and they dream into the future. They dream of these great new ideas. And guess what? The Phoenix X platform gives them a pathway to live out that dream. It gives them a pathway to realize that dream. And this is where the partnerships, the integrations, and what we've done in 2025 is going to just explode as we go into 2026. So we are really looking forward to that. Thank you, Paul.
Great. And Chris, please, what's your thoughts?
Well, the partnerships we have are just incredible, and there's a real collaboration between us and them. We use their solutions, they use ours, and Brian mentioned Astrobit, and I'd like to just acknowledge them for a second. If you haven't seen the announcement on X yet, I retweeted it yesterday, and we'll push it back out again today. But Astrobit was just recognized by as a U.S. broker-dealer, one of the first digital asset firms to be granted FINRA membership here in the U.S. And FINRA, if you're not familiar, stands for the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. So we've been working very close with them, and we have some solutions that'll be coming out early in the year. Now that they've made this step, which was something they've been working hard toward for the last year or so. So what that means is Astrobit is endorsed as is a member of FINRA, meaning that their solutions are fully vetted and fully compliant with the regulatory network here in the U.S. So it's a huge accomplishment. We talk to Astrovid on a weekly basis, and this has been something they've been striving for and working very, very hard toward for a long time. So I want to call them out, make sure that we know about that, and we'll be seeing great things together with them as we move into 2026. But partnerships, partnerships like HVAC-R EDU, we talk about them, I think, on every AMA, but they train people in the HVAC and refrigeration fields, train people to get good jobs, to get certified, to get better jobs. And we work with them to take their content and put it into virtual reality. So that's a great example of what we can do when we partner with people. There's others in the education space, like Trident out of Cape Town. Trident is an educational platform that we're working with, and we'll be doing a lot with them in 2026. Their Twitch, which is the not rideshare, excuse me, it's an Uber competitor that's launched in Johannesburg. They are using the Phoenix X as their primary device for their drivers. So that's a great opportunity for us to get the device out in front of not only the drivers, but the riders and everyone else who is exposed to Twitch and Twitch riders, Twitch drivers. You'll be seeing us partnering with one of the larger, affordable mobile networks out there, Melon Mobile. We're going to be doing a lot of work with them, packaging their services with the Phoenix X. So the partnership platform continues to grow, and there's so many good things we can do, and so much value we will be bringing to the owners of the Phoenix X. We even have an education platform we haven't announced yet that's being built and tested out of Australia, which is another big one that we'll be talking a lot more about in first quarter. So the value proposition continues to grow, continues to advance, and the value itself continues to grow as far as including the utility that we talked about before. So partnerships are a big, big element in everything we do as we go forward. Thanks, Paul.
Amazing. And now I learned something as well for the first time about Australia. Wow, that's some real alpha right there.
Yeah, that one's been under wraps a little bit until our partner is ready to announce. But that's going to be a big one. That's another educational platform that will touch millions of people.
I love it. That's just great. And yes, there's a lot of free education on the internet available, but there's no real smartphone device that just captures all the free education and education that people didn't have access to before. So this is a big thing, and that's one thing that makes the ecosystem of biometric financial just so diverse and powerful. So yeah, that's great. That's really great. So, one partnership that stood out for me is with the Big Five token community. Just their passion and what they are busy with in the continent of Africa is something that's really stood out for me. So really looking forward for 2026 with this. One other thing that's in our ecosystem, or one other project that's in our ecosystem, is of course Phoenix Lock. Now, this is one of Brian's favorite projects. He enjoys it quite a lot. Um, but Brian, if you've spoken a lot about it, but can you please just share one real world use case or a success story from this year when it comes to Phoenix Lock?
Yeah, and I do, Paul, I do want Calvin to hop in a little bit and chat about partnership ideas. I know this is, having worked with Calvin now a little bit, I love his approach to working with partners and the focus that he has on bringing together people. It's a unique skill, by the way. It's a very unique skill to be able to do it at the scale that he's able to do it. And I do want him to comment on that. Phoenix Lock, I think, is probably one of the most amazing technologies that we've added into the mix this year. Again, as noted earlier, this has been about 3.5 years plus in the making. And that technology is pretty amazing. So you can put all of your, seed phrases in there. You can put pictures of, your babies when they were young. You can put your college diploma in there. Whatever it is that is so important to you. A picture of your driver's license, your passport, things that are critical if you were to ever lose them and you needed that information. I would say one of the most amazing things about that technology is that we've added in a feature called endowment. So, God forbid anything ever happened to you, this software has the ability to hand off its contents to somebody that you've designated, and they have to agree. They have to agree to do it. But you've designated somebody to be that fallback position. So if anything ever happened to you within a time period that you set, all of those contents would shift over to this other person. It could be your wife, it could be your son, your daughter, it could be your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your attorney. It could be anybody. But the goal is that you have now set up a way where these very important, especially online information, electronic information or pictures or files that you need to store, it's designed to securely hold that forever. And it does it in a way that is not able to be tampered. So this is vitally important for many people, especially people that care about their privacy. And so I would say one of the interesting stories, Paul, that we tell about this is the poor guy in the UK who he had a wallet with a bunch of Bitcoin in it. And the poor guy it was sitting on a hard drive on a counter, and his girlfriend accidentally threw it away in the garbage can. It ended up in the dump uh, in the city that he lives in, the UK, and it's in the dump. It's underneath, 10 feet of dirt. They covered it up. They have a general idea of where it is in the dump, but they don't know exactly. And so the poor guy's been trying to dig it up for several years now. It's almost worth $1 billion. Imagine this, almost $1 billion. And he's been fighting the city. He's been suing. They've had all these things going on, but he still has not been able to get the approval to dig to find that hard drive. So now he's on a quest to actually buy the dump, just buy the dump, own the dump, and then go in there and excavate and get it out of there. So this is an example. Had he used Phoenix Lock, imagine this, had he used Phoenix Lock, that would have never happened. And so many people, Paul, there's so many stories out there of people, there's so many that can be recounted that where they have to deal with this. And Phoenix Lock is designed to help this situation. So we have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of stories. And I would just say that, take a look at that technology. For those of you that are looking for, Christmas presents, you want to give a Christmas present, the cheapest package on that is $5. It's $5 US a year. Less than 100 Rand, and or you can get the endowment part of it, which is $19 and change per year, US dollars, and so it's very cheap, and the upside is so great on that. I would really recommend for those of you, give that as a gift to somebody. They're going to really appreciate you doing that for them. It's a great gift to give over the holiday season. So thank you, Paul. It's a great question.
Okay, great. It does seem that we have lost Calvin. He's probably having some connection issues. So we'll get back to the other part of the question. But yeah, thank you so much for you sharing about Phoenix Lock. So now we actually want to look a bit into the future. What's one thing that you're most excited to deliver next year that will make 2025 look like it's really what it is, a foundational year?
I'll jump in on that first. To me, 2026, I don't know if there's one thing, but 2026 to me is about scale. It's about finally scaling our solutions out and having a measurable impact. The devices and solutions that we have that we have launched and we've delivered to the market will be turning into long-term platforms, right? We'll be building on the Rise platform in the education space. It'll contribute to people making back income, secondary sources of income, and overall security. So the Rise platform will scale. And that to me is where 2026 is. It's now that the traction has come, it's about building and building on what we have. The foundation is there, and now let's get things moving to the people who need the solutions the most. So yeah, for me, it's about scale. It's not necessarily about building more new things, which I'm sure we will do. It's about taking the things we have, taking the wheel and making it spin. The scale and measurable impact for me in 2026.
Awesome. How about you, Brian?
Yeah, Paul, thank you. That's a great question. So this is like the intersection between, um, where we are today in the reach of the continent of Africa. I would point everybody, a couple of weeks ago, we sent out a press release on all of the countries in Africa where we have type approval. And what that means is that we'll be able to import the phones into those countries directly, then the tablets and the watches. So they kind of go as a grouping. If we can get them to go together in the type approval process, it speeds things up, and then it opens up that country for importation of the devices. Now, there's a lot that goes along with that. There's on ground operations, there's logistics, distribution, working with the likes of a Pick and Pay, online retail. You've got BitPay Tech, which is the pay over time feature. So there's a lot of things that kind of follow it. There's a marketing campaign, different things that have to happen for these to roll out properly within a geography. And so part of it, Paul, is I would say for those of you on this call that are interested or you have access to people who are interested, we've been talking to various individuals to take on countries in the continent of Africa. So there's 54 in total. There's going to be like 10 of those that we manage directly, and then 44 are going to be handed off to someone else. That model is kind of like McDonald's for those of you that have eaten at that fast food restaurant. So we're going to have a process in place where a franchise operator can own a country, and they can basically take BitMobile and BitPay Tech and roll it out in a country. They could be the owner of a large retail chain. They could be somebody, connected to the financial systems. It could be a person who's an entrepreneur or owns other businesses and needs to diversify. Many different reasons, but we're looking for the right people, somebody who has the energy, the reach, the ability to do this and make it successful. So it's a little bit of a interview process that we have to go through, and to get to know them and figure out if we can work together. But that franchise operator would be able to run everything in the country on their own. So we're really looking forward to that. As we think about, 2025 and getting on to 2026, we have more pipeline things coming in behind the phone, the tablet, and the watch. So there's more coming in behind that. And as you guys know, we've started to do things in the continent of in the geography of Southeast Asia. And then we're going to be in South America in 2026 in a big way. So keep an eye on a lot of this movement. You're going to see press releases. You're going to hear about this in the AMAs. There'll be other people that come and join us and talk about this, even people like Calvin. So keep an eye on that. And for the BioFi token, what this means is a lot of buybacks. So I know we have a great community. The BioFi community is is quite large, and a lot of people are busy. They're busy professionals, so you don't see them, commenting every single day. They're busy people, and they're working on behalf of the company, on behalf of the project. Buybacks are going to be a big thing in 2026. You're going to see a lot of buybacks. That it's going to be very, very exciting. You'll have a lot of countries come online. That's going to blow your mind. So, Paul, we're super excited about that, and thank you for that question.
All right, yeah, thank you so much for that. And yeah, let's see. So you mentioned that there were a lot of buybacks, and yeah, I think this 2026 product sales on a global scale will look pretty good. Is there anything specifically like that you would like to mention about the global product sales for next year?
Yeah, let's have Calvin. Calvin, are you back with us? Let's have Calvin jump in on that. I think Calvin's on mute. Can you see Calvin there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Can you maybe, Paul? Can you just kind of phrase the question of what you're wanting me to answer real quick?
Yes, sure. I would just like your point of view of what the global sales would look like for BitPay Tech, for BitMobile. Um, yeah, what do you think will happen in 2026?
I really believe 2026 is going to be really, I think, seen as like the launching pad of the products globally. Obviously, you're going to be launching the product in new countries where it has yet to arrive and be in the market. And so in Nigeria, in Zambia, in the Philippines, and even Kenya and I believe Cameroon and Ghana. Some of these countries, obviously the product's gonna be coming to for the first time where it's never been there before, hasn't been in the market yet. So I really believe on the global markets, you're really gonna see a launch pad on the product where especially across Africa, you're gonna see people talking about um, BitMobile, Phoenix X, BitPay Tech. You're gonna have people that are gonna be studying how are they doing these sales, how are they producing the numbers they're producing, because it's really a new concept. Even from the studying that we've done across the nations in Africa, you even the way to purchase the phone through BitPay Tech. That's something that how many people are offering that, and we're at the forefront of offering this to to Africa. So I think globally it's going to position us really for a launch pad in sales. What those numbers could look like. I think you could begin to do some projections, but obviously there's going to be things that are going to determine that. We're going to be setting up new locations in the different countries, and even now we have the call center up and running in South Africa. So I really believe we're going to start seeing, even in South Africa, sales are going to, let's just say, 5x from what they were this last year, easy. So if it 5x is in South Africa, imagine what that's going to look like in these other nations where we're launching this year for the first time. And you have exponential growth and exponential numbers.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, Calvin. So for the past few days, we've been training up the call center staff as we're scaling up in this December holiday period, and we've been ramping up our ad spend and all that. And I must say, it's very exciting time that we're in. And yeah, it's just when you being in a call center and being on a promotion for Pick and Pay, it's very different. At Pick and Pay, you get to meet everyone. With a call center, with our ads that we have, we've got hot leads coming in, people that actually want a phone, that can't get it in a normal way, that perhaps has a bad credit record or something like that, and we provide that solution to these people. So it's really been insightful the past week of training that we did and meeting people. And yeah, it's I'm very, very excited for how we're going to scale. And Calvin really painted a nice picture of how we're going to 5x sales just in South Africa alone. So yeah, it's wonderful. So with that said, let's a fun one to close out the year. If BioFi achieves everything on the 2026 roadmap, what does the world look like for everyday users of the Phoenix X platform in 2027?
That wow. Okay, give me a second on that one. So, what does it look like in 2027 as we gain that traction and that we talked about um, that expansion in 2026? If I look out beyond that, I think what's going to happen is the technology becomes less important and the opportunity that the technology and the solutions bring come to the forefront, right? Once people get familiar with the technology, what it is, and it becomes, I don't want to say it's commonplace because it's unique technology, but once the Rise platform is understood and gains its traction in the marketplace, the technology itself just becomes the tool that it is. And it fades, its importance fades in the background, and the opportunity that the Rise platform, the Phoenix XXT, the Phoenix Watch, other technologies that we're launching, Phoenix Lab, all that takes the forefront, the opportunity, the security, the the access that all that brings comes to the forefront. So really, the value proposition, the benefits, this that the people are getting from it will become the messaging versus the technology. So that's on you caught me off guard on that question, but I think that's to me what it means. It means that the technology does its job in the background and the opportunity comes to the forefront.
That's a very great answer. It's almost like the markets are maturing, the technology is maturing, and when the first car came out, people were marveling at the technology of it, and now that that has matured, it's more like what can get me to point A to B, and you've got various options. And yeah, I think that's exactly what we're going to do. This platform that we're giving people, they will not think, oh wow, look, it uses blockchain technology. Oh wow, it looks this. It's like it's fulfilling its function, and we're using it because it can get us what we want. And that is something that I'm looking forward to a lot. Brian, how about your thoughts?
Yeah, this is a cool question. It really kind of projects us out past 2026. I would say Rise, rewards, integrated content, security, and education are going to be the hallmark of this. So we think about rewards. I want to get people on these AMAs, Paul, that use the money, for their family. I want to see people that use the money for their education. I want to see this phone getting paid off, at least half of the phone, through various, passive income generation and the rewards. I'd like to see that. And when we talk about education as part of Rise, I want to interview people on these AMAs that have got a better job. Maybe they're working for Google now. Maybe they're working for Amazon. Maybe they're working for um, a startup out of Silicon Valley, and they're getting a decent wage, and they're able to pay off their house and maybe buy a car and send their kids to school, the school they want to send them to. I'd like to interview these people that have used the platform and built up a brand new life and extended things they're trying to do and making it better. I'd really like to see that. We've got some people that are going through the scholarship program right now with HVACR EDU. And there's another group that going into 2026 and 2027 we'll see many of those graduated coming out of that program who will now be able to start their own companies. They'll be able to go and work for large corporations and chains like, retail chains like Pick and Pay. I'd like to interview them on these AMAs and talk to them about their experience. Those are the ones that get the free certificate through HVAC-R, and they get a free Phoenix X. So I see Rise as being a critical element, something that as we go from 2026 to 2027, each and every element of that, whether we are providing cash back to the person who owns the device, they're earning passive income, right? You're going to really see AI and Web3 and DeFi play a role in their life and help to improve their life, and Rise and that educational component impacting every single person. We're going to do everything we can to beef that up as we go through the year and offer more and more choices, more opportunities, and we're going to encourage everybody to participate. And that, Paul, I think going into 2027 will be incredible to watch the impact that has on each of these countries and all the people. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, that's great. That's really really great. All right. So we do have some time for some questions from the community. So if you have some questions, please put them down here in the chat. I do say Dagnall ask a question. Can a person purchase a multi-year subscription for Phoenix Lock?
Right now, we do not have that option available, although we can easily add it. It's set up for, small increments like month by month, and then you get the yearly plan. But we can certainly add that. That's not a problem.
Okay, awesome. Then Denver Bill asked, how many device sales have there been in 2025? And are BioFi token buybacks happening?
Yes, we've had a huge amount of buybacks already. The number is pretty staggering in 2024. 2025, we don't have the numbers out yet. Our fiscal year runs from the start of the year to the end of the year. So this is our last AMA of the year. We will close our financial books the last day of December. And then because, it's a sprawling operation, we do have to get numbers out of the other countries before we complete the U.S. taxes. But you guys know this is a U.S. corporation at the end of the day. So everything rolls up to the U.S. entity. And all of that is, we have CPAs on it. We have a very concise process of managing the books. And the more countries we add, the more processes involved in that. The numbers, what we'll do is after we get all that completed and we have an opportunity to sum everything up, we'll give you guys some numbers on the sales. But I think you're really going to like it. And we've got a couple of deals in progress right now, both on the tablet and the watch side, following the phone. So the phone has been the primary point moving into these countries, but now we've got type approval in a lot of places on the tablet and on the watch. So just keep your eyes on that, and we'll get that reported out after the end of this year.
Okay, awesome. And then we've got a question. When is BitPay Tech official launch in Nigeria?
Okay, this is a good question. So BitPay Tech, I just want to highlight, BitPay Tech is a separate company. So we talk about, BitMobile and BioFi, all that's rolled up in one company, right? BitPay Tech is a separate company. BitPay Tech is scheduled to go public in 5 years. I need to highlight this. BitPay Tech is a separate company. It's scheduled to go public in 5 years. It is its own company. It's established as its own separate, unique company in each and every jurisdiction, each territory that we're working in. I think right now it's pretty close. If not completed, it's pretty close in Nigeria, and of course in all these other countries we're operating in. So it's going through its process, its registration process. I guess we can announce. Can we announce here? I guess we can announce here. Um, I'll announce it. We have not put a press release out on this, but I'm going to announce it here on this call. This is called Alpha. They call this Alpha in the world that we operate in. BitPay Tech has officially been set up in Kenya as of the other day. So you guys get to be the first to hear that. This is a very exciting time. It's a very exciting news. There will be a press release on this, and keep an eye on that. We're very excited about that. Thank you, Paul.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. That's very good news. Kenya is going to be a very, very interesting country, and there's a lot of interesting stuff coming out of Kenya. So, yeah, I believe that is all the questions that we've received. Let's do some closing comments. Please, Brian, you can start.
Okay, great. I would just like to say, looking back at 2025, I'll just go back and just, from the bottom of my heart, I really want to say thank you to this wonderful mega influencer group that we have here. You guys are fantastic. Our our core team in all the countries that you guys operate in different languages, by the way, all the countries that you guys operate in. Thank you guys so much. I think Chris said it best in the beginning. We couldn't be more proud of you guys for all the work that you're doing. What an amazing year 2025 was. And as we get into 2026, imagine like what Calvin is talking about, accelerating, and each country will be different. Some will be 5x, some will be 10x, some will be 1,000x, depending on the country and how fast they're able to move internally, getting phones from point to point, and just from a distribution, from an import perspective. For those of you that recall, it took 2 months. I say this because we crack up when we talk about this. It took 2 months to get the phones through the very first set of phones through the import process in South Africa. It was 2 months, and that was a bit of a crazy endeavor. Something that we talk about from time to time. Some countries are much faster than that. It takes less than a couple of days. So we just, depending on the country and how fast things are moving, we can get a lot more phones in certain places than others. And then the process improves over time and it gets better and faster and more efficient. So, depending on how all that goes, we're going to see a 5x, a 10x, a 100x, a 1,000x, depending on the country. So as we look forward to 2026, we expect a lot of buybacks. We expect a lot of growth, huge, massive growth. You're going to see a lot of activity in Southeast Asia, and then things starting to happening in South America. So get ready for all that. For all the AMAs, I look forward to each of these. By the way, all the wonderful questions and just the incredible assistance that we're getting from the community. We thank you guys so much. Our regular team and the community. Thank you guys so much. All the great partners that we're working with and that we're going to work with in the future. Thank you in advance. We really appreciate it. Look forward to the Code Fest and all the activities coming up. Thank you, Paul, and thank you, everybody, so much.
I'll just add a little bit to that. I'll add my thanks to the community, to the team, of course, but to the community. Thank you, everyone, for joining us throughout the year. To those who have been here since the beginning, thank you so much. And those who are a little bit newer, thank you as well. I would just ask you, as we close out this year and we look to expand all our efforts across Africa into Southeast Asia, South America, help us spread the word. If you're happy being part of this community, and we think you are, that's why you're here, right? Just spread the word to your communities, your friends, anybody that you're connected with, your networks, and let them know about us. Encourage them to join one of these AMAs and learn a little bit about us so that they can see what we're trying to do and the benefits we're trying to bring to people. I think that would help us immensely if you could get more people to come and learn about what we're doing and join the community. So let's spread the good word and let's make, I'd love to see 1,000, 5,000 people in these AMAs every time. So help us spread the word. Thanks again for a great year and look forward to great things next year. Thanks, Paul.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. And to those that are listening to this afterwards, I hope you have a wonderful time. And once again, Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy New Year. And we will see you at an AMA soon to be announced in the new year. But yeah, hope you have a wonderful December. And yeah, see you soon.
Fantastic. Happy New Year.
Thanks, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.